I have some packing to do and then we're gonna go to Pilates and get out of here and go to Chicago. This video is gonna be super fun because we're gonna do a full Chicago like bookstore tour. I'm gonna try to go to as many as I can. So many of you guys have recommended places to go. I'm actually going to Chicago because we're leaving for London and Amsterdam in only a few days and I cannot find my passport anywhere and I was freaking out. And I feel like people don't talk enough about how important it is to have a partner that takes away like your like mental stress and like the mental load, because I'm never the type to like ask for help. And so I was like looking for my passport, and when I was looking for it, I was like, you know, I'm just gonna have to figure out this on my own. Not that I just like couldn't ask for help, but you know, just the independent girly that I am, I just never want to. And so I was trying to get together, you know, anything that I could to help me figure out where it was. And as I'm doing that, my husband's like, hey, I booked you an appointment in Chicago. You're gonna go there. You're going to, you know, get your passport same day. And then you're also gonna book shop. I booked you a hotel. Literally, he is king. Like, people need to write books about men like Brady, because I was immediately in the best mood. I was like, oh my God, so I'm gonna go and have like a bookstore trip. I also am not stressed about getting my passport anymore. He filled out all the paperwork. Literally, guys, there is so much paperwork that has to be filled out to get a like same day passport. You have to show why, like, when was the last time you had it? You have to show that you lost it and fill out a form for that. You have to like give all of your travel documents to show when you're gonna be leaving. This is all of the paperwork, guys. Like, look how, I can't even show, like, it doesn't even really look that thick, but it is. Like, there's, look at all that. And he had to like fill all that out, and he put it in this little file for me. Like, I'm just a girl, I'm just so grateful. And then he like gave me a little list of all the things that I needed, like my birth certificate and stuff, which I had. So very excited now, because this went from like a stressful, like we only have a few days for me to find my passport, to I'm gonna go to Chicago, have a bookstore trip, I'm gonna relax, and it's gonna be fun. So also, speaking of fun, I am so grateful for all of you guys who answered in my last vlog about like motherhood and like that whole journey. For those of you who shared like the hardships behind it, I am like well aware of the hardships. I think I hear that like enough. And so hearing that in some of the messages, I was like, I feel like I hear that so much that I need to hear like the good, you know what I mean? So it was obviously, I appreciate, you know, getting both sides of like how difficult motherhood is and how easy it is or how fun it is. But I feel like I just don't hear enough like the good things. And I don't know, being someone who doesn't really have a ton of people in her life who do have kids, and then the people who do have kids, they're not really like sharing anything great about it. There are a few. It just was so nice to hear really positive experiences from those of you who have kids. I just cannot thank you guys enough. I want to show you guys my books that I'm bringing with me before I get out of here. I'm really excited to read these. So I'm already reading At the Waterfall by Smarladine S. And this is a really good book. It has like magical realism in it, which I don't normally enjoy, but I feel like I will enjoy it the more I read it with this one because of the way that it's written. This is also by a very small author. She's a Black author, and the story is like really enjoyable so far. And then I also am reading The Roommate Risk, which Kalila actually recommended this to me. It's very spicy, but there also is a lot of tension and slow burn, and I think that this is my favorite. Not slow burn, it's not very slow burn-esque, but it's a lot of tension. And I think that this might be my favorite book by Talia Hibbert. And then I also got Time of Your Life from Bloom Books PR yesterday, and I planned on reading it last night. It actually is released today, but I obviously have the ARC for it, so I'm just gonna read this one instead of, actually I already pre-ordered it, and I saw that like Barnes & Noble, they sent like an email to me yesterday. They're like, hey, your book's on its way. Like, we charge you $36. I'm like, cool. Like, I love supporting the authors anyway, so I probably would have bought it. But Yeah, I totally forgot that I pre-ordered it. Really excited to read this one. This one isn't as long as most of her books. It's like 326, so not as long as like the 500-page books that she usually writes. And I'm also bringing Not Safe for Work because I'm in a like funny, cutesy, romancy era. I feel like we're at the end of summer. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but to me, summer goes until like mid-August. Like it just, that's summer to me. Anything after that, we're not in summer anymore, we're in fall. So like end of August, fall. And I think it's because of my brain, I think in like school year terms still, even though I'm not in school. But like, you know, when people's kids go back to school, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fall. So yeah, I am wanting to read like a lot of the cutesy romances before fall comes, just because I feel like in fall I'm gonna want to read more books that are like historical fiction. I'll still want to read romance, but I think I'll want to read more like heartfelt romances that are like deep and make you cry versus like the cutesy ones. So yeah, I think I have everything. Let's go to Pilates. I gotta go change first, but let's go to Pilates and then we'll get out of here. This is gonna be such a fun trip. I cannot wait to go book shopping with you guys in Chicago. We're gonna try a bunch of new bookstores that I've never been to, and it's gonna be so fun.
Okay, that leg goes down. So come off your heels, squeeze that circle, and then back down to your left hip. Good. So where you can kind of follow that circle with your head if you want. Pick the strap, and then coming forward. Good. Tummy's tight. You might not be able to go all the way to the window, so if you just go halfway, that's good too. Good. Squeeze your feet. Good.
I think that this is one of the best bookstores I've ever been to. I have not seen like, I don't know, 50 to 60% of the books that are in here. I have read Colty, but I've never seen this cover before. And they have so many other books in here that I've never even seen, which is so rare. Like I just knew that I was gonna walk into not just this bookstore, but like other bookstores and have already seen like a bunch of the books. There are 3 new releases that I want to pick up on this like little bookstore tour, and I was kind of planning on getting like one book here, one book in another bookstore, one book in another bookstore, because I didn't think I would find really anything that's like new that I haven't seen before, or either that isn't like newly released. This bookstore is incredible. Also, this town is so cute. It is very much giving like an Emily Henry little town. There's like a beach not too far from here, so I'm gonna go over there pretty soon. But they also just let me write a little blurb to put onto one of the books in here. I like think that's the coolest thing. I've never done a little blurb. This is what the blurbs look like. So you can see that they've done a few. This says like Pink Couch Book Club here, and Pink Couch Books here, and then there's a couple other people who've done some, like Tori is reading, and yeah, so they asked if I wanted to do it, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. I've never done anything like that. So yeah, I am gonna put this book back because I've literally already read it, but I've never seen this cover before. And again, there's tons of books in here that I have not seen literally anywhere, so I feel like they do a good job of like just stacking this bookstore with books that aren't like commonly seen everywhere. And they're also really like organized nicely. There's a section for dark romance, section for fantasy, paranormal, for young adult, sports. Like it's just organized so well. My little brain is just so happy in here. I feel like I'm gonna leave with probably 3 books, and it's 3 books that I just did not expect to get. So I'll probably show you guys that when I get to the beach. So I think I'm gonna go to the beach because they said it's not too far from here. I just literally am in my like element, living my best life. I do not want to leave. I'm already gonna like text Brady in like literally 2 seconds and tell him that I'm just wanting to come back to this beach because it's so nice. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It is pretty busy out, but it still has like so much open space. This is reminding me so much of Florida and our trip, like our family trip that we went to, but this is only 3 hours from my house, which is crazy. I've gotten into this book. I'm only about, where did I get to? 22 pages, I think. Honestly, the wind might have blown this a little bit, but I'm like 21 or 22 pages or something like that. Loving it. It's definitely giving Magnolia Parks vibes. I feel like she does the best when she writes stories about like rich people because it's just her. I also feel like reading this out on the beach is giving me summer vibes because this book is not necessarily giving me summer vibes like at all. I also picked up so many books here, and I want to show you guys some of the ones that I got. I don't want to show you all of them because, like, I don't know, it's just a little surprise, but I did end up getting How to Sell a Romance, and this is a book by Alexa Martin, and I actually read Next Door Nemesis this month, and I haven't even shared on any like blogs or anything. Like I literally just read it like over a weekend so fast and I wasn't filming, and I'll give like more of an update in my wrap up. But I love that book so much. My mom actually recommended that book to me, so I wanted to read this one because I love the other one so much. It says romance is the biggest scheme of them all in this laugh out loud romantic comedy, and I will say in Next Door Nemesis I did laugh out loud. Like it was so funny. So cannot wait to read that one. And again, I do have so many other books in there, but I'll show you guys that probably when I get back to the hotel. I know that this book is going to be my undoing. Whenever they first like laid eyes on each other, well not first, but like after they kind of got to talking, it goes, our eyes locked, there's something electric between us, like you could bring the dead back to life with a spark. Step closer, wasn't much distance to begin with, you know, whatever gap there was, gone now. My hand's on her face now holding it. I never had held a girl's face before. Like sure, probably I have. 23 after around a bit, so yeah, I've probably had me hands on a girl's face before, but it weren't like this, you know what I mean? Holding her face because I can't look away, staring at it like one of them glass prisms that shoots rainbows and colors and F and all sorts about. Hold her face up to the sun if I could, see if the light bounces off her too, feels like it might just. Guys, this book, I'm obsessed. There's another part in the book where he because I'm not super far into it, but where is this at? See if I can find it. It says she laughs, proper laughs. Best sound I heard since that first time my mom showed me Here Comes the Sun, which is funny now that I think of it. I reckon somehow the boys wrote that one about her. Feel like science might one day prove it, that she in fact is a proper effing sun. Shove me hands through my hair because my brain is stressing me out. I don't effing think about girls like this. I ain't a poetic lad, don't breathe a effing word to anyone. But me brother writes most of the songs, and like Happy Days, good for him, he ain't sing for ish. Not compared to me anyway. We all need something to get up in the morning for. I'm out here thinking about girls, how I keep effing accidentally thinking about her, know what I mean? At the bottom it goes, girls' mouths are always soft, but her lips are like pillows. I don't know how many girls I've kissed at this point in my life. Arguably, some might say too many. Doesn't matter anyway, because effing none of them hold a candle to this. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in all that ish about the one, or I didn't. Might do now. Now that I've kissed her, and it's like, what the F was I doing kissing other people? Wasting my effing time, wasn't I? Didn't know bodies could slot together like hers does, as I'm holding her against me now. This book is going to absolutely undo me, and I'm only like 20 something pages in. Have a whole BIPOC section in here, and there's so many good books. I've already picked out one that I think I'm gonna bring home. I'm gonna try to like show it to you guys because I already have a stack of books and I want to show you guys the rest. But this book by Brittany Cherry, yes, there is a man on a cover, but I love Brittany Cherry's writing. They also have some of her newer books up there too, but this is one of my favorite bookstores because I feel like the books they have here are so unique. They also have this book by Shanora Williams. You guys know I loved Beautiful Broken Love. It was a 5-star series for me, and this is the first book in this series, so I'm thinking about getting this one too. They have so many other books here as well, and I feel like these are books that you're not normally gonna see in the bookstore. Like this one right here, I remember buying this one from Call and Response Books. They have this one. I've never heard of this one. This looks really cute actually. One Summer in Miami. So many books here. I want to literally buy everything in here. Okay, after looking at this book for a second, I'm realizing that this has like an age gap. Like the main character in this, she meets the main guy character when she's 9, the first time they meet. So I did read Coach Me by Shanora Williams, and this one was like a super spicy read, and it wasn't my favorite, but again, I rated Beautiful Broken Love 5 stars. So I feel like she has some middle ground and some super spicy reads, and I feel like maybe the spicy reads are like more not my style, but I am really liking how short this one is. And if you like age gap romances, this could be a good one. It's called Wanting Mr. Kane. Good morning. I'm getting ready to head out to my passport appointment this morning, and I wanted to give you guys a little book haul this morning, and then I'll give you another book haul this afternoon whenever I get back, and then probably one when I get home. These are the books that I got from Call and Response Bookstore, which is a Black-owned bookstore. The owner is literally like my age and the sweetest human. Like, if you have never been there, please go there. I've been to Chicago so many times, but I don't normally go to like the Hyde Park area. And I wish that I'd went to that bookstore sooner. You guys know I talk about that bookstore all the time because I order from her online, and a lot of bookstores, they'll use bookshop.org, so they don't like hand deliver their own books, but she does. She doesn't use like Bookshop. It's literally just coming straight from her store. And her books, I swear, get delivered faster than Amazon. Like, they are so quick, and she has such a wide variety of books. If you're ever wanting to find diverse book recs, like you guys are always like, how do you find those recs? Go to her website. You can literally just scroll because she has only BIPOC like authors at her shop, so you're gonna get tons of representation across the board. And I think it's so cool because it's very rare to find a bookstore where you and other minority groups are celebrated. So I really loved going to her space. I think it would be a great place to just go hang out, even if you're just like in the area and you're not really trying to bookshop. There are couches in there. It's like a really wide open space. I feel like some bookstores are really tight and crammed, so you almost feel like you're in the way. Like if you're book shopping and you're like squeezing around people, there was so much room. It was also really cute because this guy was in there and he was book shopping, and he picked a book off the shelf and he came over. He's like, "Excuse me." I was like, "Sure, what's up?" And he was like, "I'm buying this book for a girl that I'm like kind of like interested in." And he was like, "Which book should I get?" And he's like, "One is like, you know, the history of like Malcolm X, and I think it was like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King." And then he's like, "And the other one is like a book of poetry." And I was like, "Well, what's her book taste?" And she's like, "Well, she lent a book to me." And I forget what he said it was, but it was like something in the same vein. And he's like, "And then I lent another book to her." So they've been, I guess, trading books back and forth. So then he went into like this story about how they met. He's like, "I actually grew up in," I want to say, he said like Baltimore or Atlanta or something. He's like, "I grew up in like this area," and she grew up there too. And then he said that he ended up moving to another city, and then she moved to that city, and then like they happened to meet up. I think like he moved here to Chicago and then they met up, or maybe it was like he moved somewhere else and then she moved somewhere else and then he moved somewhere else again. I think it was just one time. I think he moved here to Chicago and then she ended up moving here, and then they ended up reconnecting. And it was just so cute. And I'm like, love is not dead, because they're not dating or anything. And he's just like kind of courting her. And I just thought it was so cute. He was so giddy. He was just like, "Which one should I get? Like, I don't know. Should I just get both?" Like, and I was like, I'm not reading like books like that. I'm reading like, you know, thrillers or like fluffy romances. I mean, again, I will say I do read historical fiction, but like primarily I'm not reading just like a typical memoir or like poetry books. So anyway, I just thought it was really cute, and I wanted to share with you guys. If you're single and you're just thinking like all men are, you know, X, Y, and Z, I promise they're not. There are really good ones out there. And again, he's not taken. Like they're like having like a courting situation, but also you never know when your time is gonna like come, because they'd known each other for years and they didn't like, you know, have any interest in each other, and then they moved to the same city and they like grown and changed and stuff, and like now they do. So I think about that a lot in terms of my friendships, because I feel like there's some friends that I like wasn't super close with whenever I was younger, and then I've built an even closer relationship as an adult. But it's because when we were younger we had some similar interests, but then as adults you kind of grow into who you are, so then like you build your circle around that. And I feel like it's similar with relationships. Anyway, let's get into this book haul. So I ended up getting 4 books in there, and the first book I'm going to show you guys is My Train Leaves at 3. This is a book I've been so excited about. I saw the author on TikTok share this book, and I actually got this for free, because if you buy 3 books, the bookshop, they actually give you a free ARC. Now this book did come out July 8th, but it's been sitting in their little stack of books you can pick from, and there's tons of free ARCs in there, like tons. There were other books I was like, ooh, should I get this one instead? But this was actually a book I wanted to buy, and so I probably will end up buying it, because you guys know even if I get an ARC, I still do like to buy the book and support the author. But this says, Sayomara Sanchez is a feisty, aspiring actress Xiomara Sanchez, a feisty, aspiring actress, is reeling from the sudden death of her sister and grieving in a tiny apartment with her ultra-strict mother when a once-in-a-lifetime audition falls into her lap. Can she rise to the occasion to reclaim the life she believed was lost? This just looks so good. It says, it's a story of a woman trying to rise from a family pressure and grief to make it as a Broadway star. I just feel like this is going to be incredible. I've heard great things about it from the author on TikTok, so I can't wait to read that one. I want to make sure I'm like still good on time because I do not want to miss this appointment. And then I also ended up getting Silver Sparrow. There's a girl in Book Talk, I cannot remember her name, but I'm gonna look her up now because she's like a smaller girl in Book Talk. I don't really follow a ton of people in Book Talk, honestly, because I just am very, very conscious of like what I put into my brain, and I really like to digest like very positive content. So on Instagram, I pretty much only follow people I'm like friends with in real life. Like if we've met, like we've had multiple conversations, we hang out, like we're friends, like I could text you kind of thing. Like those are the people that I follow on Instagram. And on TikTok, I literally follow like 28 or 30 people or something like that. But this girl, I mostly just follow, I don't really follow a ton of people that I'm like actively friends with because I feel like the people I'm friends with have very different types of content, and on TikTok it's very different than like Instagram. But the girl that I follow, her name's Reads by Mercy Lego, and I love her account. She does such a great job of sharing in a way that's just like, I don't know, like kind of quirky, and she's just like really sweet, or at least she seems like it. And she shared this book a while back. She's also almost at 10K. She shared this book a while back and she said she loved it, and I read one book by this author and really enjoyed it, so I want to read another one. I also read the book that I read by this author is An American Marriage, but I also read that book when I wasn't super into contemporary fiction. I was just kind of getting into it, so I feel like I'll love this book even more. And it says, with the opening line of Silver Sparrow, well, I'm not gonna read the back. I'll just tell you what I think it's about. I'm pretty sure, because I did read the back of the store, I think it's about a girl who meets her sister and finds out that her dad is living a double life. I think he has like 2 families or something, but one sister knows and the other sister doesn't. So I think that that's the story. Looks really good. I also picked up Don't Cry For Me by Daniel Black. This is a book that I will probably end up reading in tandem with the audiobook. I love using Spotify's audio because you don't have to buy the whole audiobook. You can just buy like a portion or use a portion of your hours to like listen to the book. So Spotify Premium gives you 10 hours, and I've been a Spotify member I think since like 2012. So it was actually just a perk because I was already a premium member, and then they added it like a few years ago. I was like, oh, bet, like 100% I'm definitely gonna use it. Whereas I love Audible. I use Audible all the time, but you have to like buy the entire audiobook. So makes it kind of hard if I just want to like listen in tandem and I don't really want to listen to the whole thing. Whereas I might listen to an hour or an hour and a half on Spotify and not have to use all of my 10 hours. But I'll probably do that with this one because I did read Perfect Peace, but I feel like it was very dense in some parts, and so it was hard to get through. So I think if I just go into this book knowing that I'm gonna do like a tandem read, I will enjoy it a lot more. It says a black father makes amends with his gay son through letters written on his deathbed in this wise and penetrating novel of empathy and forgiveness. It looks like it's gonna be a very deep story, and I've heard great things about it. And then I also picked up a romance. They have an incredible romance section. They had Restore Me, they had Beautiful Broken Love, they had Elevator Pitch. So many books by authors that are not on bookshelves in typical bookstores are in that bookstore. So if you're looking for more romance books that aren't super popular, go to Call and Response Books. But I picked up this book, never heard of it before. It's called Game of Revenge, and the author, I was checking online, because she does have different like every author in that bookstore is not black. There are tons of different types of underrepresented groups that she shares in there. So I wanted to like check. I wasn't like sure if this author was black or not, but on the website, or on her website, it said she's from the Caribbean. Whenever I'm sharing like on TikTok or Instagram, sometimes it's hard for me if I'm doing like, these are 10 books by black authors that you should read. It's hard for me to know like, is the author black or not? Like, especially if a cover looks like this and there's no picture on the back. And I never want to like, be like, oh yeah, this author's black, and it's like, actually she's literally not. So I remember one time I shared like a Christmas video, and one of the authors was not Black. I think that she was, I can't remember, but I just remember I was like, oh shoot, I added her to this list, and she, not that I wouldn't share the book, but I would probably share it in a different way. I wouldn't be sharing it in a video that's like 10 books by Black authors that you should pick up, you know? It would be just like, these are romance books that you will want to read. Anyway, I picked up this book. This doesn't really look like my typical book, but it's about a girl named Amelia. She gets taken hostage. As time passes, Amelia starts to see her captor in a new light. With every look, every touch, he broke down her defenses and got dangerously close to her heart. So this looks kind of like a dark romance type of vibe. I have heard no one talk about it, and it's less than 400 pages. So excited for this. I need to get out of here because I'm going to be late for my appointment if I don't get going, but I will give you guys another haul whenever I get back. I just saw this couple walk through with their kids, and the mom was matching her kids. They're all wearing pink, and the dad was walking behind, like carrying a stack of books, literally looking at my future, because that was the cutest thing I've ever seen. Every time I see any of Kennedy Ryan's books, I always am reminded of how I never finished this series. I started the first one, loved it, did not read the other two. I need to read it this year because I've read Real, loved it. This was 4 out of 5 stars for me. Read Can't Get Enough, 5 out of 5 stars, or Before I Let Go, 5 out of 5 stars, or This Could Be Us. This is also 5. I also haven't read this series, but I want to finish this one first because I really love this one and I already started it. I also have the Grip series too, and I started the first book in the Grip series and I want to read the rest. This bookstore is so cool. It's actually one of the largest in Chicago, I'm pretty sure, and it was actually converted from a bank to be a bookstore. There's like overhead lighting literally right above me, if you guys can see. That's why my face is kind of like blown out a bit, but I think it's so cool how they converted it, but they left a lot of the history. I had to walk over to an area that was like a little bit more like shaded so I wouldn't have that like overcast, but I swear the bookstore is the best place to make friends. Like anyone who says they struggle to make friends, I'm always like, go to places where your hobbies are, because I feel like if you're going somewhere where you have a similar interest to someone else, it just makes it really easy to get to know people. Like I was looking for some books and there was a girl who was also looking for books, and I was like, what's in your hand? Like, you know, just like, what do you like to read? And so she's like telling me, and then she's like, oh my god, this Instagrammer I love, like you should follow her. She said like her name's like Beach Reads and Bubbly or something, and she's like a Chicago like book influencer, and she was like, I find all of my recs on there. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, I've never heard of her. And then she's just like yapping about her favorite books, and so then she's like asking me about books, and we were talking about ones that we loved and like ones we're reading this summer and ones we want to read. And then she literally goes, what's your Instagram? Like, you know, I love to like, you know, meet people or whatever, to like exchange Instagrams. And I didn't say anything. Like, I mean, granted, I said, like, you know, what are you reading? She, like, I think had some books in her hand or something when I initially saw her. And we were, like, just in the romance section together. And that was it. Like, she asked me what my Instagram was, which is, like, the perfect segue to be like, oh, you know, we can, like, DM, like, maybe get coffee, lunch, go to the bookstore again together. I feel like doing things with people who have similar interests, it's so easy to make friends with them. Because again, it's like, let's say I come back to Chicago and like, you know, we chat over the DMs, like swipe up on books that like, you know, I see she reads a book that I loved or something. I'm like, oh my god, that book's so good, and vice versa. The next time I come back to Chicago, I can easily be like, hey, you want to meet up at the bookstore and like bookshop together. Such an easy thing to do with friends. And then you take your books that you bought, go to a coffee shop, and then talk about why you bought the books, why you're excited to read them. I don't know, I just feel like connecting with friends through your hobbies is the easiest way to make friends. More people need to read this book. This has only like less than 2,000 reviews, and I love this book so much. If you like something that's kind of like melodramatic and a very fast-paced read, I feel like you will love this one. I just got back and I have some great books to show you guys that I got from Barnes before I pack up. I am running a bit behind just because the passport appointment, it went really well. It actually only took an hour, but I did not realize that I would need to go back there to get the passport. I thought I would get it like right then. And so they said I could either wait to have it mailed and it would come in 1 to 3 business days, which I don't want to do that because I just like I need it in my hand before I go home. So I'm just gonna wait, and they said that the latest that I would get it would be like around 3, and they were gonna text me. So I have another appointment in Lincoln, Illinois, which is like 2.5 hours from here, and I'm going to actually get an ultrasound, not for what you think it's going to be. It's to see if I have like fibroids, and that's been something that I've been wanting to know for a while. I went and got my hormone levels checked and everything looks great, which is really good. The only thing is they found that I was anemic, which I kind of, or not anemic, I was low on iron, which is that anemic? I don't know. But I'm supposed to take like 300 and something milligrams of iron, which I think a regular iron supplement is like 18 milligrams. And I had no idea. Like I kind of had an idea that I was like a little low on iron just because whenever I'm on my period, like they're like so heavy and like just so bad. They last for like 2 weeks, which is crazy. But I just didn't know how like much iron I need and how like depleted I was. So it was really nice to know like that everything else was great, just that needs to be like checked. But they did want me to do ultrasound just to see, and it's like a, what's it called, a perineal ultrasound, so it's not like your typical they're going up my cooter. So I'm a little nervous, especially because like I feel like anytime I do something like that I want to be like freshly showered, you know, like just be like fresh, and I'm not able to like do that because I'm gonna be coming off the road. And even if I was coming from home, the appointment's in Lincoln, so it's an hour from my house, so I'd still have to sit in the car, but whatever. Anyway, I'll probably shower like right before I leave and then like maybe freshen up in the car. But I want to show you guys the books that I got. I'm gonna take a second from packing. These are the books that I just got from the bookstore. There's only 2 in here, and I want to show you guys these because the other 2 bags back there, I'm not going to show you guys till I get home just because it'll take a little bit more time, and I am running a little low on time just because I need to like check out. But I got 2 books. The first book that I got is called A Summer for the Books. It says Books, Beaches, Besties, and Secrets. This is by Michelle Lando Rice, and this is by the author who wrote the book, what's it called? The Bookshop Sisterhood. And it says for fans of Jennifer Weiner and Sunny Hostin, they will love this emotional dual timeline about 2 former besties finding their way back to each other. I'm pretty sure that the best friend gets into a car accident and doesn't remember anyone, and the only person she can remember is like her old best friend. And it says with so many secrets and heartbreaks between them, Jewel and Shelby haven't spoken in years, yet Jewel can't turn away from the friend who doesn't remember their fallout. Besides, the best writing she's ever done was with Shelby, and she's a writer, and she hasn't really had the easiest time writing. She's had like a writer's block. It said, but when they learn Lacey's really spending her summer searching for her birth parents, now that's Shelby's daughter, I'm pretty sure, or maybe Jewel's daughter, their tentative reunion might just unravel along with all of their secrets. Actually, it's Shelby's daughter, because I remember reading the back of this and it was saying that the woman who gets into the car accident and can't remember anything, she also doesn't remember her daughter, which is why Jewel is like, hey, I'm gonna go help her, you know, water under the bridge from everything that happened in the past. I also picked up Cash. Not that I need another cowboy romance, but this just looked really cute. I don't know what this is about. I feel like it's a typical cowboy romance. It's broody. Molly Luck has run out of luck. There's a grumpy guy named Cat. I mean, it's literally giving like your typical cowboy romance, and I'm gonna eat it up. The thing is like, you can't get mad at people for wanting to read books that have like similar tropes, because how often do we watch TV shows and movies that have almost the exact same type of plot? Like, when guys are like, oh, like girls, like, you know, like what the romance book's gonna be about. It's like, well, you also know that Marvel movie is gonna have like a villain. It's gonna have the superhero. They're gonna save the day. They're probably gonna fall in love with somebody. There's gonna be a moment where you think that they die and then they don't. Like, it's predictable, but we enjoy it because, you know, it's fun to watch. So, and I feel the same way about books. So I'm gonna finish packing and get all the stuff in here. I read a little bit in the passport place, but not a ton. So hopefully I'll read a little bit later before I head home, because I do have a few hours before I'm gonna get my passport. As you guys can see, I'm back home and I have a huge haul for you guys, but I also want to give you guys just a quick book update before I get into that. I don't think I'm gonna finish most of these books in this video. I did end up finishing one, but I have so many other books that I've like gotten into. So I started The Wife before. I haven't even really talked about this, but I started it as an audiobook on the way home from Chicago. Love it, like absolutely eating it up. And now I see why people read Shanora Williams's thrillers, because they're just like really fast paced, and I feel like I'll finish this really fast. I'm on chapter 15. I've switched to the physical book now that I'm home, but listening on audio was really nice for such a long drive that I had. I'm also reading Time of Your Life. This book is so good. I am loving it so much. Like, Jessica Hastings' writing is just so good. She also does such a great job of doing like insta love without making it feel like cringy. I definitely feel like I'm gonna finish this before I go on my trip. I also am reading At the Waterfall. I'll probably bring this with me whenever I go to London, Amsterdam, just because I still have a ways to go with this one, but it is a really cutesy read as well. And then I ended up finishing The Roommate Risk, and this book had so much tension, but it also is very spicy. So if you're looking for a book that has tension and spice, I feel like usually it's one or the other. Like, you get a lot of tension and it's like a slow burn. This is like tension and tons of spice, and I feel like you will love it. I think I'm gonna rate this one like 4 stars, maybe 3.5, probably 4, but I really enjoyed it. And I also want to get into the books that I picked up from the bookstore. So this is what I got from the last chapter, and then I also got some books from the little Pink Couch bookstore. So I'll open these first, because these have some of my anticipated new releases in this bag. I'm gonna try to take it out without knocking everything over. So the first book that I picked up from there was Ordinary Love by Maureen Ruchowski, and this is a sapphic romance that looks really, really good. It says, a page-turning, irresistible novel of class, ambition, and bisexuality. Ordinary Love is the breathtaking story of a woman risking everything for a second chance at her first love. And I'm pretty sure they're like adults, and Emily, she runs into her high school girlfriend, that the heartbreak of that time, it comes back, and you see like all of that. And I just love like a second chance romance. There's something about it that's like so special to me. Also, this book has very few reviews, and I want to say it came out not a super long time ago, but it didn't come out like super recently either. Let me see. This came out in, I think it came out in like June, I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, I guess that wasn't that long ago, but it doesn't have a ton of reviews, and I haven't heard anyone talk about this, so I want to read this very soon. I think it has maybe 1,000 reviews, which is what I love about indie bookstores, because I always end up finding books that I have not heard about. And you guys saw in my last video where I shared an Amazon book haul, which there were tons of authors that are like super small, and they're not in bookstores like at all. They just sell primarily either on Amazon or on their like personal website, but most of them sell like just on Amazon. So this was nice to be able to support small authors, but also support indie bookstores at the same time. I also picked up Loving the Liar by Lola King. This is book 1, and this is a dark romance. I want to start reading more dark romance, because I've been enjoying spicy books more this summer, and maybe it's just because the summer vibe, but I almost feel like going into fall, dark romance is going to be the vibe. And I don't know, we don't discriminate over here. Like, we literally do not discriminate. I will read whatever, at least to try it and see if I like it. And I haven't really read a ton of dark romance, so I want to get into this one. I don't really know what it's about, but it says he wants to take care of me even though I hate him. He wants to protect me when he's not allowed. He wants to make me his even if it puts us both at risk. I have no hope of surviving a secret society, but if Christopher Murray makes me his, I have no hope of surviving him. And that's just like a little blurb that's on the bottom. I also picked up Pugs and Kisses by Farrah Roshan. This is a book that has been highly anticipated for me because I read her other book that came out last year. I cannot think of the title at this moment, but it's very like, it's definitely a book for the dog lovers. If you like dogs, you will love all of this series because it's like very much that focused. I didn't know that she was from New Orleans, but whenever I was there to visit my sister at like some of the indie bookstores, they shared that she's from there, which was really cool to me. I also picked up Between the Pines by Amber Palmer, and this just looks like a cowboy romance. I've really been into like my cowboy romance era. I think since I started like getting into the Chestnut Spring series and actually enjoying it, it's been fun for me to be able to read. This says Josie Hayes is always on the run from bad decisions, from heartbreak, from cowboys. That's all I need to know. It's not super long. They also gave me this super cute bookmark. It says, I've lived 1,000 lives. I've loved 1,000 loves. I have wandered distant worlds and seen the end of time because I read. George R.R. Martin. And such a pretty bookmark. I feel like you don't see bookmarks that look like that too often. And then I also picked up How to Sell a Romance by Alexa Martin. This book looks so good, especially because I read one of her other books this month, and I just realized that she's like such a great rom-com writer. Like her writing is just very fun. It says romance is the biggest scheme of them all in this laugh out loud romantic comedy. So those are all the books that I got from there. And then I ended up getting more books. I literally got like 20 books in this video. Like I'm not even kidding, I got so many. I got a bunch more books at Last Chapter Bookshop, and I think I got 5 from there. Yeah, so I got 5 from there as well. And the first book that I want to show you guys is Shadowed Obsession. This is the book that I actually went in there for because I purchased it online, and I just purchased it for pickup, which I thought I purchased it for delivery, and then like not realizing that I didn't. I got an email where it was like, hey, you're gonna pick up your book soon? I was like, actually this is perfect because I'm gonna be in town. So this is Evelyn Lay's newest book, and it is a dark romantic comedy. I feel like it's gonna give Butcher and Blackbird type of vibes, which I actually enjoyed, like the romantic comedy-esque. Butcher and Blackbird wasn't my favorite, just because the spice was spicing, but I think going into this, I will know that I need to be in like a spicy mood, but I do kind of want to read this soon, so maybe I'll start it like literally right now. I also picked up Wanting Mr. Kame by Shanore Williams. I feel like she's quickly becoming one of my auto-buy authors because everything she writes, I want to read. Like her writing is really good. Like thrillers, she keeps you on the edge of your seat. She keeps you coming back for more. Romances, she just keeps you entertained. I feel like her books are just really good. So I kind of want to read everything that she's written. And this is like a spicy romance. It's also giving kind of like the old school vibes because of the cover. It says there's something about her that tempts me, making me want to sacrifice just about anything to have her. I don't know, it's about giving romance. It's by Shanore Williams. I'm gonna buy it. I also picked up Forever by Judy Blume. I'm excited to read this one because I have been watching the show and I've been loving it, but I don't remember reading the book. I just remember reading Thank God, or Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And I feel like this is a very popular one as well. And it obviously turned into a show that everyone's obsessed with, so I want to read it. It's less than 200 pages, or no, it's like 205 pages, so I feel like I'll finish it super fast. So I got this one. I also picked up The Infinity Between Us by Ines Perkins. I actually put this into a free library a while back, and it was like the older copy. That noise is them working in the basement right now. They're putting in the carpet, which is so exciting. And yeah, so you're gonna be hearing them. I think they're like probably vacuuming up stuff before they put it down. But this is definitely gonna give the summer vibes, which is why I picked it up. And I feel like I wanted to unhaul it when it wasn't quite like warm yet. And now this is like what I'm in the mood for. And then I also picked up The Seduction of Pretty Lies by Holly Renee. I don't really know too much of what this is about, but it looks really good. It also is signed by Holly Renee. It says, the boys of Claremont Bay had been my protectors for as long as I could remember, and Ollie Warner took the job to heart. He was intense and all-consuming. I had been in love with him for years. Alarmingly handsome and recklessly charming, he attempted to deny there's ever anything between us. And I'm gonna skip a little bit. It says, Ollie and I were never meant to be, and we had become nothing more than a pretty lie. So maybe it's like fake dating. I don't really know. It looks really good, and I'm always looking for authors that aren't like super hyped up. Love the cover of this, and it was signed by the author. So literally ended up picking up like 20 books in this video, and I feel like this is probably the biggest book haul I've ever done in bookstores because I went to so many bookstores. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. There will be lots more fun videos to come, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.